Hello, my name is Justine Roberts and I'm the CEO and founder of Mumsnet and Grandsnet. So Mumsnet came about as a result of a really disastrous first family holiday that I took with my then one-year-old twins and my husband, and we ended up picking a very bad destination. It was definitely the wrong resort in the wrong time zone, the wrong hotel, and quite frankly the wrong children. And we were sitting there, bemoaning our choice with all the other parents who made a similarly bad choice of destination. And it was a sort of light bulb moment that I thought, well, wouldn't it have been nice to have checked in with people who'd been there and done that? And actually, even more important than holidays, what about all the other stuff that as parents we're not trained for, to do with looking after kids and bringing up kids, that really is quite crucial. So it was really a simple idea to be able to tap into wisdom, swap ideas, and there was this thing called the internet which allowed you to connect with people as far away as the other side of the world. So that's really where it all started. So Mumsnet has changed an awful lot, I think, over the years, mostly in that it's got to be pretty enormous. When I started out, I was on the forums really talking to myself with a whole variety of pseudonyms to try and get the conversation going. Now there are nearly 10 million people who visit every month. But it's true to its original purpose, I think, which was all about how by discussing things and pooling knowledge and wisdom you can make parents' lives easier. So it's both very different and just the same. I think there are some real challenges for parents that weren't really quite so much there when I first started 17 odd years ago, particularly around digital lifestyles, use of technology, mobile phones, how much they intrude on lives, whether it's a good or a bad thing. It's kind of a unique challenge in parenting in that we have no experience ourselves. My generation has no experience of growing up exposed 24/7 to the internet and digital media. So we don't really know how much is too much, or whether in fact there is too much. Is playing Minecraft for 8 hours just a good or a bad thing? Is it just like Lego? Maybe it's a good thing. We don't really know, but we're generally the guinea pig generation here. And I think that's a challenge. It's a challenge not to have any bearings. You go out when you're 15, you try alcohol, you maybe get drunk. You know that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be an alcoholic. You have that to reference, but you don't have that, or a lot of parents don't have that with this generation. We're just learning on the job, so it's a bit scary. The Mumsnet family-friendly scheme is all about recognising companies that are going the extra mile to support families within their business, whether it's their customers or their employers. And it is terrific that Womba are supporting the scheme in 2017. Mumsnet really was founded a little bit on the idea that there are a lot of people who wanted to put their family first and work second. And in many workplaces you weren't really allowed to admit that. Certainly that was true of my experience. We wanted to be able to recognise that essential truth that actually probably the most important thing in your life is your family, and work can come a close second to that. And that firms that recognise that challenge are more likely to retain staff, they're more likely to flourish, and if they recognise their customers' challenges in that area, they're more likely to thrive as well. So there were some companies that were doing it really well. Not all their employees knew about it. Some of their policies were brilliant, but they were kind of hidden under a stone. So we wanted to make all those firms that believe in this stuff to be really out and proud about it, so they could perhaps change the culture, allow people to take advantage and make everyone's life a bit easier, particularly parents. I think there can be many different components to a family-friendly company. It doesn't necessarily mean that all your staff work part-time and have the entire summer holiday off. It can be lots of different things. Really, it's a mindset. It's a mindset about listening and engaging with your employees about what they want. One of the truisms that we've found since we started is that actually it probably works best in companies that don't just think about families but think about the needs of all their employees. So whether it's the single young people who want time off for sabbaticals, or it's people who want time off to pursue their caring responsibilities or other aims that they have. It works best when you really apply it to everyone. It's not just a siloed group. So the main characteristic, I think, is a company that has this front and centre of their minds, that actually that happy employees, better employees, and taking account of individual circumstances can help you retain great staff and look after your customers better. There are lots of companies doing lots of great initiatives around the family-friendly scheme. Two of the ones who've won awards with us this year are Unilever, who've introduced 37 weeks paternity leave on full pay, which is pretty amazing, and HSBC, that have got a 50-50 target of senior women and men in their organisation. So they're trying to get their gender balance 50-50, which amongst their senior staff, which is also a great target. I think shared parental leave is a great idea. I wish the take-up would be higher. I suspect it won't until the economics of it are sorted out. So really it's going to require firms to offer men paternity pay to the same extent that they offer maternity pay, to encourage men to take what's on offer to them. And I think we need to change in the culture too, and it needs to be seen as, a joint responsibility parenting, where men can choose to do it as much as women. So I think, it's a great idea in theory. There are a few problems in practice with the take-up and the way it operates. But actually, I'm a strong believer that men will benefit if they take a more active role in parenting. And of course, women will benefit too. On Mumsnet, we see so many women trying to juggle being mothers and working. And that's because they're essentially taking up more than their fair share of the mothering responsibility. And I'm not just, obviously mothers have to breastfeed, but what about all the play dates and the social life and the education stuff and the health? It's still working mothers who are doing the bulk of that. So there's a long way to go, but shared parental leave is definitely a step in the right direction. I wish I knew, actually, how you struck the right balance between being an entrepreneur and a parent. I'm not sure I have. I think the truth is that you do the best you can, and you probably have to let a lot of things slip and work out what the important things are, because nothing is going to be perfection anymore if you're trying to run a business and look after a family. You also need to make your other half do their fair share. That's an ongoing battle. So I wouldn't claim to have found perfection in any way. But what I do is try and make as many compromises as I can and focus on the things that really matter to me.